Welcome to Oldsmob 455. Gonna do some more work to the trailer here. I think I'm gonna dismount the tires, sandblast, and repaint these rims. Other than the rims, the trailer's looking good, so we're gonna go all the way with it. After about 6 hours of sandblasting, I got the face down to bare metal. Just put some self-etching primer on there, and the rest of it I just kind of touched the rust spots. I just shot them up with some Rust-Oleum clean metal primer. Stepping up here from the Chinese spray guns, this is a Devil Biss starting line. It's actually my second one. The first one, the air valve leaked in it. They both seem to spray pretty good though, for what I'm doing. I got a first wet coat of gloss on these rims. Looking a lot better than what they did. They're somewhat pitted, but it's the nature of the beast. This is pretty much the finished product mounted on the trailer. Dampens this tilt bed. I took it back to the hydraulic shop. They had stuck a normally closed valve in there. We had to run 12 volts to it to open it. Well, that sucks because the only time this is going to get used is I'm putting something with a really long wheelbase in this trailer. So now this is normally open, then you run 12 volts across it, it will close it. He claims he vacuumed it and got all the air out of it. This used to have 2 ports on it, only has 1, so I don't know if that's even possible, but we'll hook it up and see how it works. I believe this to be an electromagnet. I'll just normally have it off, and if I need it, I'll slip it on there and then run the juice to her. You got all the air out of it. I don't really like this setup that I did here. It protrudes into the cargo space of the trailer. And say you want to get a car kind of far forward on it, you know, this is your limiting factor. So I'm going to go ahead and zip this off right down here with a Sawzall and make something else. I think I'm going to come up out of here with a bracket and then have the tire in this area. I'm making my spare tire carrier now. I welded on some stops. I'm going to secure it with a bolt. I'm going to have a nut welded in the back side of this. I'm thinking about through bolting it. I'm going to see how it does with just a nut on this piece at first. I've added a plate in front. I'm trying to get it so there isn't too much of this going on. I think I'm going to actually add a little bit of weld in the bottom and grind it so it's in there good and solid, just like that. I think I'm also going to either grind this down or flame cut this and grind it so there isn't a sharp point right there. I'm going to add a stop in the back here too. Try to keep some of the weight on this piece here. It is. It's pretty solid. I think I'm going to run with it. My plan is to put a spindle on here. I'm just wondering if the tires be sticking out farther than those tires. I think I'm just going to tack this on there and mock it up, see how it looks. I'm looking at this. I could probably actually make the tire go quite a bit lower than I was originally planning. I was probably going to block these fork holders, but I can just put forks on this side of the trailer, and I usually run them on this side anyway because the driver's side faces the center of the road. Estimating the center of this wheel to the edge of the tire is about 16 inches. So I think I'm going to put the center like maybe 18, and then we'll see how that looks. Protecting the bearing surfaces with a glove. I think I'm going to put 3 good tacks on it and then see how it looks. I think if I like this, I'm going to have to maybe cut this so I can get behind it and get a good weld on at least the top portion of it. Put a backing plate on it. I was going to use a piece of sheet metal, but by the time I bought the metal, this whole assembly was even much more expensive. I marked the hole with a Sharpie, drilled it, bolted a nut in there, and it's a brick shit house now. A drum, the hub's built into this drum with bearings. So if you're wondering why I did this, now if I ever have bearing failure, I can just take this assembly and hopefully pop it on. I'm going to run the wheel on now. We're going to take a measurement from the wheel to this surface and then compare it with that. So this is the actual wheel measuring to that same surface. I got like 11 7/8. I have like 11. That's how I think I'm going to run it. It back off that brake pads a little bit so this thing spins freely when I'm driving down the road. Have people scratching their heads. This flame cut and ground it way down. It took that much off because the wheel's sticking out far enough that it's not going to interfere with that tilting ramp. So it'll be less leverage going this way with it. So I got a piece of metal here. I'm just going to work it around on there, make a cap on it. So I just tack that piece on there. I'm going to work it around, keep tacking it, and then fully weld it and grind it. There is that. Not the prettiest thing, but we'll keep the water out of it. I should be able to weld this up pretty good now. I think I'll test fit it on the trailer before I go any farther. There she is. I'm liking it down lower a lot. Hopefully the tire clears this light with the wheel on it. It's in about 3/4 of an inch more than the other tires that are on the actual axles. So I think it's going to be okay. I welded this steel good and hot. I'll probably make a second pass over it. I was able to weld all the way around it. I don't think that's going anywhere. Not the prettiest, but it'll get the job done. This piece would have to break, I think, before that came off. And before this would break, I think the bracket on the trailer would break off. It is the finished product. I got a new nut ring. This thing's way heavier duty than I need. 35,000 pounds. This is what was on there. There's really nothing wrong with it, but it's just that people get confused on how to operate it. So I got a lock for this new nut ring. And it's kind of a joke because all you have to do is unbolt this ring and then replace it. But who wants to do that? This ring was like $100 bucks. These are locking nuts. I have Loctite on there too. So it'll be a little bit of a job just to replace it. But if somebody wants something bad enough, they're going to get it. So this steel here, it's kind of keyed and then it's D-shaped. So let's take a look at what this looks like. So here it is. We'll get the job done. The trailer sits for long periods of time. I just changed this guy out for this. I think I got this at Farm & Barn or something. That's all I had at the time. To get that trailer ride level, I had this pintle hook in the top position. So really this is unnecessary. I do believe some of these are supposed to be directional too. Max trailer weight is 10,000 pounds. 1,100 pound tongue weight. This trailer here is rated for 12,000 pounds with two 6,000 pound axles. I wish it was 14, but it's not. You know I'm gonna load the crap out of it. So I got one of these that was rated at 20,000. Biggest one I could find in this configuration. This pintle hook's rated for 15 tons. So if you're asking yourself if this is my limiting factor, it's not. This guy here is rated for like 17,800 pounds, the 1,800 pound tongue weight. And really the main reason I'm changing all this stuff out is in case anything happens, I have all stuff that's rated for what I'm doing. I think the newer truck's actually rated to tow more than what that truck is. Since we're working on the trailer, I might as well show you this. I got these quick binders, and instead of using the chain going around the D-ring on the trailer, and then you're hooking on here, and then using the chain and going around the machine, coming back or hooking on here, you're like triple stressing the chain. Just got these big hooks to solve that. So this can just hook on the D-ring, and then one chain from the machine to here, I can tighten it up. And instead of having a bunch of 20-foot chains in the box, I think I can get a couple shorter chains, maybe even 10-footers, to try to get some of the weight off that trailer. I had to go with such a big hook because I needed over half an inch to get around here. This should make the machine really easy to tie down and then take off. It won't be an entire headache moving it every time.